Hi everyone. Welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story and to our Thursday night Out of the Abyss game. I'm Corey, and this is our 8th episode of these guys who are getting dragged through the Underdark and getting batted around by a bunch of baddies. So we are... Wait, what? Oh. Wait, what? Did you give yourself?
Pay no attention to
that. This is corruption, which is a great segue into Out of the Abyss. 20 Sides, we'll get to the story. Let me just do some pay the bills a little bit. 20 Sides to Every Story is a great community here online. We mostly are on Discord. So there's two ways you can to join us, and it's we encourage you to do so. Our Discord channel, Scott, thanks for the cheer. Our Discord channel is active pretty much all times a day. We focus on RPGs, mostly D&D, but we do quite a bit of exploring into other territories, including art, video games, and other things completely off the wall. I see we have a hype train coming, so that's always a good thing, because it means we don't really know what it means, but it does a good job of
Let's
everybody excited.
Gets everyone excited, and you can earn some exclusive emotes. Yeah.
And whoever is the conductor gets a special prize, but I'll only announce that after.
You get a fancy hat.
The other way to follow our hey, new subscription. The other way is to follow the channel here on Twitch. That'll let you know when we're
Tier
online.
3 sub. Whoa.
We typically are online every night right around this time, sometimes twice on the weekends. And so it's by following the channel, you'll get notification when we are live. If you like what you see and you want to support the channel, two good ways to do that. The best is to join our Patreon. Patreons get access to our community campaign games, which are most every Friday night. We're playing through 2 campaigns, drop in, drop out style. One is Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, and the other, which is tier 2 characters, and then tier 1 characters that we are. It's going to be 3rd session tomorrow, right, Alex?
3rd session tomorrow. Yep.
3rd session is the Lost City. I just can't think anymore. And so Patreons get access to the slots for those campaigns. First come, first serve. And then as space is still open, our Twitch subscribers also get access to those games. So those are 2 great ways to support us. Keep an eye out. I think most of the DMs are set up at this point, but in November there is going to be a week of supporting Extra Life here on the channel. Each of the DMs is going to host something, and so the full details are there in the chat to explain what we are up to. 20 Sides has a long history of supporting Extra Life, and we want to do that this year as well. Thank you, Bruno, for the inspiration. That will go into the reroll pile for the party, which they may need it since they are battling Demogorgon as level 2 characters.
I don't think battling is the right
battling,
choice.
no. Yeah. It's not the right word.
Running away from.
So, before we get started with the tale, why don't we go around and we'll introduce the characters first. If you could tell us your name, your race and class, and then also, if you don't mind, telling us if your character would have had any significant interaction with the demons or the Abyss prior to getting locked up in the Underdark. So I'm going to start smack in the middle with Jason.
Hi, I'm Ed. I'm playing Jasa. She is a halfling rogue, and I have not had any experience with demons other than the internal ones that we all have in us.
Okay. Next we'll jump over to Drazzle.
I am Drazzle. I am a lizard person, and I am cleric of the sun. I think about demon chocolate. Lizards, we cannot digest lactose and milk, and so it's bad. I have lump of chocolate in my belly that will never go away. But this demon cannot be vanquished.
Okay. Interesting. Moving very quickly over to Zelm.
I have not had any experiences with demons. Devils have, however, approached me quite a few times, but I'm not one to be recruited for the blood war. I'm a Brain Knight through and through.
All right. Dolphix.
Hello, I'm Dolphix. I am a gnome fighter. No, I tend to steer clear away from demons or devils or any of that extraplanar nonsense. I have plenty on my plate to protect the folks that employ me from material threats, humanoid threats. So that usually keeps me quite busy. Thank you.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Vic.
Playing a half-elf bard named Vic Valentine, and no, I don't have any first-hand experience with demons, but I've given the matter a lot of thought, and I've always had a fascination with devils and demons and the such, and I was working on a rock opera that was about a young man that was going to make some deals with a demon and such, and, you know, this whole time I've been hearing this thing that these Koatoa keep saying, this Demogorgon thing. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a good kind of back vocals for the main piece. This Demogorgon, you know, I thought that would be real good. And then, holy crap, this big thing just popped out of the water. I don't know, I'm having second thoughts about this whole demon thing.
Well, you invoking the name of Demogorgon apparently pushed us past level 1 in the hype train. So he is good for something. All right, so to give viewers out there a little bit of a background what happened, these 5 basically one by one got kidnapped and brought into the Underdark to be sold to Drow as slaves. The 5 of them, with some help, hey, that's thanks, Ethan. So the 5 of them successfully managed to evade their captors, along with some help along the way of some companions. There were quite a few of them to start out with, and we'll get back to some of their stories later. But the important part is that the 4 of them who traveled with this party, Shushnar, who's a Koatoa who has adopted the way of pacifism, Stool, Myconoid Sprout, who is pretty helpless, except has some ability to connect the party psychically, Eldith, who is a shield dwarf from Galtenbrim, which is the area sort of sits between the surface and the Underdark, and then Sareth, who is a drow who was able to, who was imprisoned by the other drow for committing murder, which he doesn't remember. Apparently he flew into some sort of rage and has no recollection of that actually happening. The 9 of them have traveled across the Underdark from where they were imprisoned towards this village on the Dark Lake called Slubidope. As they approach Slubidope, they quickly and sort of firsthand learned that within the village there seemed to be 2 factions. One who worshipped a new god, who Shushnar had never heard and another group who stuck to the old ways and worshipped the I'm totally blanking on names here. Who worship the Sea Mother. All they knew of the new god was that he went by the Dark Father, and his worshippers really like to sacrifice humanoids and throw them into the Dark Lake in order to empower him. They heard a couple times his name was Demogorgon, but that's about it. When they got into the village, the archpriest of the Sea Mother proposed a plan to the characters, and the plan was basically that to pretend that this group were sacrifices, that the archpriest of the Sea Mother was trying to make amends with the high priest of the Dark Father, and when the time was right, slaughter the high priest of the Dark Father, and by cutting off the head of this threat, it would sort of subside. Sort of how the plan went, except complicating this was that the Sea Mother's the daughter of the Sea Mother's archpriest, this is like a real soap opera. She had switched sides and joined the Dark Father's posse, and in fact, in doing so, apparently obtained strange powers for doing so. And when the characters were brought as prisoners to the priest of the Dark Father, she was killed by her own father in front of the characters. This was not part of the plan, as far as the characters knew, and it set about a chain of events in which the water adjacent to the village in the Dark Lake began to froth, and out of the blue, a giant two-faced, two-headed, with baboons for each of its faces, and tentacles for its arms emerged and started raging against the village itself. You guys have a few turns before it descends on the village, but you probably should think about what you need to do to get the heck out of there. Small subplot there. Zaum stayed back with Stool, who was helpless and who the party did not want to subject to this possible sacrifice and the possible battle. And so the group, Zaum and Stool, are in a different part of the village, not terribly far, but far enough that they can't see what's happening. But they certainly, as they sit in this hut, they certainly hear demonic screams start echoing all across the lake as the ground below them begins to shake down. And you look outside, and the first thing you notice is that at first it looks like there's no one on the streets at all. And the house you're in there's no windows or anything. It's not really clear what a window or a door is in this place. So it's pretty easy from where you are to look outside. But you, at first you'd think there's no one on the street, but then you see everyone in the streets, all the Kawatoa from this village, are lying on their backs, their bodies all spasming. And this, for those of you who are over near the waterfront, you also notice this. all the Koatoa have dropped to the ground and are like in some sort of fit. So Zom, what are you thinking about? What are you gonna do?
So I say, that's not good. Come on, Stool. I think it's time to go.
You pick them up.
Yep. And I start heading out the way I came. I
Okay.
just start leaving.
Are you headed towards the rest of the party, or are you leaving the village?
No, I'm leaving.
Okay. So you're gonna start. I'm assuming going west. So sorry, it's technically to the south because of the arrow.
Right.
For those, Zom, I've mentioned this last week. It might not be obvious. You're actually on an isthmus, and so there's water to the west and east of you, and the village is actually sort of there are fish net-like walls around the north and south side, and the fish nets have like little hooks in them.
Right.
You guys did come in through a gate, so you can head in that direction. Are you headed,
Yeah,
I guess, as quickly out of as possible?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be to the south, which would be to the left of the...
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know what that was, but it sounded too big and too scary for me to deal with right now. So I'm going to head there and hopefully whoever smart joins. Because I'm out.
All right. So you are going to head towards the net. Let's go back to the characters. So the group of you see all of the Koatoa just drop to the ground. And I need all of you for me to roll. A second. I need you to roll me a d20.
Is this a sanity check?
This is a sanity check.
Because I have a +1 on that.
Perfect. You're the only one, though, I believe.
Yeah.
And Zalm, this would not apply to you. You don't have dark vision, right?
I do have dark vision.
Oh. So I'll get back to you in a second.
I do not have
no.
dark vision.
No, I don't have dark vision. Please, leave me alone.
You are, it was just because Zalm was across the hall, or across the village. So the group of you, if you have not, so just okay.
Although my dark vision is only 60 feet.
You feel nauseated. It's like a demon has the ability to nauseate you. I don't know. I don't know where I was going in that sentence, but okay. So let's see. Let me just do some paperwork here. Drazzle, will you roll me a D100? Dolphix, will you roll me a D100?
Just so I can know whether I'm doing this right. Last time I got a 99, and that was not good, right?
Yep. And it doesn't. There's no good or bad here.
There's not like lower,
There's
better.
There's only bad.
There's only bad.
I win, 82. Take that, Dolphix.
Okay. And then, sorry, what did? Okay. So, okay. So, how am I going to do this? I
mean, if money's falling from the sky, I've got a basket to catch it in.
No, you are about to get in Discord something sent to each of you.
Okay.
The two of you. Just the two people who I. So let's see.
Oh, Dolphix, don't get nauseated here. The time for that was earlier. We've already paid our respects.
We already know Vic's a sympathetic puker, so if you get sick,
I will let you integrate what I'm sending however you wish. There's no immediate need to. Scott, I'm sending you on Facebook because you use it more.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then the two of you, what I need you to do, both of you would have had 11s for your sanity score.
Yeah.
So I am going, so this is how your sanity score is actually going to move up and down at certain points. And this is one of those points for the two of you. So what we're going to do is basically that if you're going to roll a d20. If you get below your sanity score, it's going to lower it. Wait, does that work? No, opposite. Below your sanity score, it's going to go up. Above your sanity score, it's going to go down.
And if you hit your sanity score, it stays the same.
Yes.
Bingo!
Right? Okay. So
I'm now more sane.
correct.
Yes.
So you are suffering something, but you have sort of stabilized yourself. Correct. And so now you both have +1s. I'll fix those for you. And I know you just sent me something, Ed.
Oh, I just put it in the group chat that
Oh.
Anybody who would like to can create a custom skill in D&D Beyond for sanity, so it's easy to roll it.
Nice.
Yeah, so the two of you now have your sanity score is at 12, which means it's a +1, just like any other score. And the idea is that you have a better chance of, as you get more and more sane, you can stabilize these effects. Fortunately, you did take them. However, you weren't the only people to fail that check.
No.
Zaum, you're not. I'll get back to you. Vic. Okay, Vic, nothing for now. Zaum, you, in the darkness, you can see towering over the area around the docks, a creature that seems to be at least 30 feet above the water. I will need you also to make that roll a d20 for me.
Okay. A natural 1.
Okay. I'll get back to you with that.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So, Zaum, I'm assuming you're still running towards the wall?
Yes. Hold up 1 second. I have to go. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna leave with these guys. So, the group of you, the things you see this beast coming at you, and it is massive. These tentacles like reach out from its body like 20-25 feet, and it's just swinging up. And you see it start to destroy the docks in front of it, and it is just slowly marching straight towards the village. You see the Koatoa on the ground just frothing at the mouth, and as you get a second to look, you notice something very unusual. Their fits are all synchronized, which is similar to a phenomenon you guys saw earlier, or one of you saw earlier. And then the other thing you notice that in the water, it seems some weird school of creatures has started reacting quite positively for them, negatively for you, to the chum in the water. And so you just see dark shapes sort of surface at points and start to fight in some sort of frenzy over the blood and the humanoid parts that are floating in the water. Hemeth, who is the who actually killed the high priest, he looks up at you and he says, "We have to get out of here."
Agreed.
We go
Is
by
that-
boat.
Toward it?
No, no, no. Come with me.
We have companions we need to find.
There's no time. This place will be destroyed. And he starts to run off to what is the south, the left. He's running in this direction.
Give me back my dagger.
The dagger's probably still in the high priest's back.
Well, I will take it.
Which one is he, Corey? The guy?
Hemeth is he was a Duragar, so
Was he the Durgar that we
he-
saved?
he was,
Okay.
and then he turned on his captor. He was not part of the plan. He was actually going to be sacrificed.
Right.
Um,
He's this guy.
yeah.
Okay. Now he's the one who's talking to us now.
Yeah.
He happens to be glowing because one of you guys are very bright.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to follow.
All right.
We should find our
Well-
friends, but if we find you again, I wish you well.
Vic, what we do? We follow him?
Is he running? He's running south, right?
He's running
So
to the boats.
He seems like he's running towards the dock.
Oh, so he's heading up. Okay.
So southwest.
Are there number of boats around? Like, is it?
There are at your best guess, and he's not this close. Demogorgon is not this close to out here, but the way he seems to be moving is roughly in this direction.
No, we needed to get across this lake. That was part of our plan, wasn't it? To
Get to the boats. I'll run and get Zaum. I can move pretty quickly.
okay, you'll be okay.
As okay as any of us will be.
I will go follow Short Man, and I can make spell. You will find us.
Zaum, will you cast light on my dagger before I go?
I'm not with you. Right.
Or not Zaum. I'm sorry, Drazzle.
Sure. Here, light.
So then I can. Then as soon as he does, I will use dash and cunning action, dash and movement, and just go triple speed to go back to Shushnar's.
So I'm going to. I'll get back to you in a second. You make me
Sure.
an investigation check to see if you can figure out where they went. Okay. So the rest of you, Eldith says she turns to you and pragmatic as always. She says he may be the only one who can navigate us across the lake, and points at him.
We'll try to delay him. We'll try to wait for as long as we can so that you can get Zom and come back.
Eldith is sort of following him instinctually. She's shaken. You see blood coming out of one of her eyes, and you probably see the closest thing to panic in her eyes. Sareth is sitting on the floor, and he has dug out a clump of his hair, and he's just itching.
I'm gonna go up to him and slap him.
Make me just a strength check. Like a strength roll, an unarmed attack.
You get a +4 to that from Bless.
Plus a D4.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
throw a D4 on there, but clearly my
He
heart
is-
wasn't
he's-
in it.
He's sitting.
I don't want to hurt him.
No, he's prone. So
Oh, okay, okay.
you manage to slap him, and he sort of like, you see him just fall over, and immediately he just starts retching and vomiting, and you get the smell of like the fishy food that you guys ate, but it just smells rotten when it comes up from his gut, and
Ew.
pulls himself up, and part of his scalp is bloody, and he says, "We have to get out. That's a demon lord."
Yeah, we know. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Gotta
he
get
starts-
up.
Dark man, you come with us. It's better. Go
starts
this way.
that way. So is anyone going with Jason, or just Jason?
I think it's just me
I don't think any of us.
because I
Yeah.
can move.
Yeah, we can't keep
fast.
up.
The rest of you, where are you? Are you following Hemeth? Are you following the inertia of the group?
I'm trying to follow Hemeth and Vic, as long as Vic's following.
Okay, it's not. Hemeth is a dwarf, so it's not like he runs super fast. But you do see him running. Like he seems to be running down here, trying to put as much distance as he can between the Demogorgon and the Koatoa are still frothing and still in the fit and still in this absolutely eerie, like that they are all having the same seizure, like exactly. It is very, very weird.
Were any of the Koatoa that were near us? Did they? Were they carrying anything that they dropped and now it's laying down the floor?
Do you want to find that out?
Yeah, I was looking around, see what has fallen, because some of them were.
Sure. So they all have those. I mean, more or less, you can find some nets, some spears, if you want. How detailed are you making this?
Well, I'm looking mostly at that really powerful leader guy,
Okay.
because he was probably the one holding something powerful.
Okay.
Either best weapon or
Give me
best
one
tools.
One second. I'm just looking for what he might have.
Seem to remember something described as like that gator claw that's on a stick. You squeeze the handle and
the pincer staff.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he did have that. Yeah, you can grab that. That. Who had that? Who had that? Someone definitely has it.
That was the priest of the Sea Mother who had that.
Oh, right. Do you want to grab that? He's out.
It was either that or the other bad guy had some sort of powerful weapon that I could grab either one. I'm just looking to scavenge since they're all incapacitated and we don't really have much in the way of weapons. I'm going after two most powerful people and grabbing their stuff.
You actually, it wasn't just the head guy. There was a couple of them that had this thing.
Yeah.
It's called a pincher staff. You can, let's say, easily find two, unless you were looking for more.
No, but wasn't the main bad guy? He had something, I bet, too. Something that shot lightning. I thought.
1 second. That was the main good guy.
Hmm.
That was. Hold on.
I don't think anyone's good. I watched a man kill his daughter. I think take from these bad people, they can no more do bad.
I was thinking the same thing.
Sorry, I'm just looking for this real quick. You. Yeah, maybe looking at Roll20 might do it faster. So it's not the whips who had it. There's so many things on this. It's not him. Sorry, just gonna move some people around here. Not the monitor who had it. Yes. So, it was a scepter that he had.
Hmm. So it was like a weapon of some sort, so I was going to grab that.
Okay. So then you grab 2 pincher staves and this 1 scepter. Anything else you guys are doing?
So all the Kuatoa are spazzing,
Every one of them.
regardless of whether or not they followed.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is really weird. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, Dolphix, take magic stick. And I hand him the scepter.
Okay. Thanks. Let's go.
All right. So the group of you head out. As you are running to Hemeth, Eldeth looks at probably at you, Dolphix, and says, "Shushnar's back there."
You know Shushnar?
Don't you?
Yes. Yes, of course.
This is Eldath that's talking, not Hemeth.
I heard the other guy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
I was confused.
Yeah, it took me a
no,
minute,
no,
but
no,
I figured
sorry.
out where
Yeah.
the confusion was.
yeah. So I thought you might have been playing something else. So yeah, it's Eldeth.
Okay, Elda says that.
Yeah.
And we left Shushnar with
Shushnar walked off when you agreed to. You have no idea where Shushnar would have went.
Oh no. Can I look around? Scan
Sure. Yeah. So you don't see him anywhere nearby on a quick glance. If you want to do more and actually like physically move around and try to see if you can find him, it would require an investigation check.
No, Dolphix is just gonna look around and then look at Eldith and say, well, if he's like any of the other of his kind, then I'm afraid there's not much we can do for him. We have to keep moving.
Vic, what are you up to?
Just booking it, trying to keep up with the dwarf. Also, just keeping a kind of eye out for I guess alternative escape plans in case this one goes wrong. Just trying to, situational awareness, trying to couple up with a couple of like a plan B and a plan C.
Right. So this demonic creature now, I mean, just huge strides, and you see the water sort of pool off him as he takes these steps. And as you get closer to the water, you can see there's these giant, like manta ray-like monstrosities who are swimming through the water in a frenzy, feeding on the chum in the water. You guys are moving as fast as you can when you see the Demogorgon just take one of these tentacles, and it sort of scoops under the water, and you see this entire dock just immediately like fly through the air and into and just basically decimate this whole section of the town. You see that as the dock just takes out everything that it is. Let's see, Zelm. So you are at the wall, and you can decide to move towards the gate, or you can try to like squeeze through the netting of the wall. The net has like number of fish hooks, so it could actually be painful. But if you were in a real rush, the fastest way out would be straight through, or you could make a beeline and move down to the gate.
How far away is the gate actually?
Let's say maybe like 100 feet at this point. It's close, but it's
Okay.
you'd still have to go a little bit, or you can just try to squeeze through.
I think I can head towards the gate. I think I have enough time to head towards the gate instead of squeezing through.
Okay. And Jasa, you see Zalm. He's the only person walking down the street.
Yeah, I'm gonna start yelling immediately.
Fine. Zalm, you hear.
Huh? What?
This way. We're meeting. We're getting on a boat.
With that thing in the water?
We're going away from it.
I just start running towards.
We found a guide.
Zalm, so you start running. You catch up with Jasa, and the two of you start heading. I'm assuming you are about here, just for narrative purposes. If you saw where I drew the excuse me, orange text.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
And so, are you? Which way are you running from there?
Straight towards the water.
Straight towards. Okay, so straight to the water. Okay. Let's see. So the group of you up near the water already. Ignore all these. I don't have an arrow on. You guys. Drazzle, I forgot you. A second. Drazzle.
And as soon as I knew Zom was following me, I'm taking off. So I'm
Okay.
gonna get there before him, but hopefully slow to keep the boat from leaving.
Yep. I think stool up here. Yeah. Okay. So you, Stool, and Chase. Sorry, I'm just repositioning some things to make narratively a little bit more sense. So, you guys are running over here. The rest of you are up in this direction and running towards the boat. The monster in the water continues and veers a little bit away. Like, he does not appear to actually be targeting you, as far as you can tell. But he comes up here, and you see both of his tentacled arms just lift up this dock, and you see him wrap one of the tentacles around one of the supports of the really flimsy dock, and he just starts swinging it like it's almost like a mace, and you just see Koatoa fly through the air as he picks them up and swoops them around. Eventually the dock comes unhinged, and so the three of you, Zalm, Stool, and Jasa, you see it, huge pieces of it headed straight at you. I'm going to need the three of you to make dexterity saving throws, and that includes Stool. I'll make it for you.
Oof. Let's see.
Does Bless is probably gone at this point.
Yeah, it's been 10 minutes.
I don't think you need to make one, Alex.
So it's a 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's 3. Okay, so...
Gotcha.
Sorry, yeah, it was the people... The dock flew over your guy's head. So...
Jeez.
You got hit by 10 points of bludgeoning damage as these dock pieces just fly into you. Stool also gets hit. He is down.
I immediately tap him. I'm like, get up, and I do 1 point of my heal, lay on hands, and I dump 2 on to me to just bring my health up to.
You would have had full health, just so you know.
Yeah, I know that brought me. That literally brought
But
me
not
down.
anymore.
Yeah, I was like.
All right, you pump in health into Stool, and you see like sort of like a little bit of paddles on a resuscitated person. That shock to Stool, and he gets up, and his little sort of feet Keep pushing, and I'm assuming you're sort of dragging him along behind you.
Yes, very
Um,
much so.
You guys get up to come up to here, just as the rest of you are also getting up here. You see Hemeth jump on basically the farthest boat he can find away, and there's another boat next to it. There are 9 of you, and the boats can sit 5. So what I need for this period, who is in what boat? Hemeth is in.
I actually don't care which boat I'm in, as long as I'm in a boat.
Drazzle goes into the boat and sits down.
I'm gonna jump on the one that Hemeth is on.
Okay.
I'll jump in with Drazzle.
I'll go with Drazzle as well, I guess.
Stool's going with you because you were dragging him. Sareth goes with that group. Eldith looking around. Vic, you said you were with Drazzle.
Yep.
Dolphix, is that okay?
Yep. That's
Okay.
fine. I will stay behind, actually.
I'll hold him off.
There's not enough room for me. Keep going.
Fly, you fools.
You're too big,
I got
Dolphix.
this.
You're too big.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you. The boat you guys push off the boats. Do any of you have experience with boats?
No.
I grew
Oh
up
man,
near
I
docks,
only
but
have
no.
land vehicles.
Okay, so what I'm gonna need you all to do is I need you to do. Let's just do a survival at disadvantage, and it's gonna be. How do I want to do this? Yeah, we'll just do a group check.
7.
Remember, we do have 4 rerolls.
This might be a good time to use them since we're trying to escape from Demogorgon.
Yeah.
You know what? I might just use a reroll. Although I don't know if it's going to get any better than 7 for me, but I'm gonna use a reroll.
I would, I'm also gonna elect to use a reroll if the group is okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I
mean,
had a
these
4.
are a disadvantage, so yeah.
Ah, there goes that nat
I
20.
still
but
have a 4.
I got 13 though. I got higher.
I got my low score is a 12.
Yeah, group check, we're at minimum, like we're sitting okay, I think.
Okay, so the left boat, which is Dolphex and Jasa, your group check is 11 and sorry, I'm missing one.
17 for me.
17. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was just formatted differently.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know
so
why it is.
you guys are able to get the hang of this thing. It's like a flat, almost like a almost like a gondola, like a little wider. So it's a little weird. Balance is a little weird, and pushing off, but you're able to like at least start moving in a direction away from Demogorgon.
Well, at least the boats down here are the same as the boats up there.
Equally uncomfortable?
Just keep paddling.
Let's see. Now we have Zaum with a 13, Vic with a 4, and Drazzle. Oh yeah, you pulled it off. A little slower than the rest. You're heavier, but you're able to push away, and you just as you start pushing away from town, you see the full massive body of this thing, and it is gargantuan. Like it is bigger than any giant you've ever heard of. This thing is just bestial, and it seems intent on wiping this entire village out. And you just see it start to like decimate. And I think probably the last thing you see is it comes to this statue of the Deep Father, the weird one, and you just see it like consume it. with its tentacle, and it just starts like masticating it.
Hey, Vic, I don't remember plan, but this was not planned. Or was this planned? Kill girl, monster come, we follow, sacrifice.
None of this was a part of the plan, but
You think plan then sucked?
I think we were not in on a lot of big pieces of that plan. We were just sort of a resource pawn on a chessboard.
Yeah.
That conversation. Okay, nothing. You guys start to paddle off into the darkness, and that is the end of chapter 2 of this book. You guys are going to level up here, at the next available rest, but we'll just do it here as we sort of proceed into this next phase of the story. So you guys can do that on your D&D Beyond sheets.
Yeah, it's never been easier.
You can assume that a long rest happens before anything significant happens. And so what we'll do, I think, maybe just since we're about halfway, we'll take a quick 7-minute break. So you guys, we can do bio breaks, and we'll finish up this leveling up. So
Okay.
Thanks for sticking with us, and we will be back in just a few minutes, real quick. It won't be very long.
Okay.
People want to know about all these pickle-related snacks.
During the leveling up process, we all decided fried pickles were the way to go.
Yes.
I don't know. I kind of prefer fried cheese.
Fried cheese.
Why
is
not
good.
both?
I'm in.
Yeah.
If both is an option, I'm in.
Yeah.
What about fried pickle fondue? Like you take the fried pickle and you use it to shovel up the fondue.
So it's a cheese fondue with fried
pickles.
pickles.
But yeah,
Yeah.
fried
I
pickles,
think that's fine. That works. That works.
That sounds like a brilliant compromise.
Yeah.
All right. Next get together. That's the potluck. Okay, so the folks, they leveled up, and maybe we'll save what just in case they have buyer's remorse. I'll let them until next session change that around. So next session we'll introduce because I think almost all of them grabbed their subclass. This level 3, and so you guys paddle pretty frantically and pretty intensely as far as you can get until sort of the sounds of this village being destroyed by this monstrosity sort of fade into the darkness. And you approach your new reality that you are floating in a very dark and desolate place where the water is poisonous to drink and where you have to rely on Hemeth, who is the only person who knows how to navigate the Dark Lake. And after the end of maybe 5, 6, it's nearly impossible to tell how many hours you paddle. Hemeth spots a sort of a piece of land jutting out of the middle of the Dark Lake, and he guides you both boats over, and you pull up. And as it turns out, there's some mushrooms that are sufficient to eat. And you sort of huddle up on this rocky island. There's some of the mushrooms are barrel stalks, so you have enough fresh water to drink. And you sort of take stock of everything that just happened. Eldeth has completely withdrawn and is sort of in a fetal position, rocking back and forth. You see Sareth continuing to scratch at the piece in his scalp. he looks at all of you and he says that thing should not be here.
You know what that thing is?
If I've learned anything, that thing is one of the demon lords here from the abyss. How, I don't know.
He shouldn't be here in Lake, or should not be here in town.
Here
I don't think him welcome in town. Not
You're-
good guest.
Plain.
You think those Koatoa had the capability of summoning that thing all the way from the abyss?
You just hear him like almost like laugh or cry or some sound emanates out of his mouth, and he's like, I don't know what I think anymore.
Fair enough.
Hemeth, what do you know anything? You were the captive longer than we were.
I was fishing, and those creatures came up on me. I don't know anything about the I've never been to their village before. I don't understand their language.
Hmm.
They were monsters.
We had the same issue with language.
Normally those things would just rip you apart. You came across them. It's best to kill them immediately when you see them.
Dolphix, you've been reading a lot about the arcane and such. What do you know about demon summoning? You think that's something that those little guys could have done?
Do I?
Make me your Arcana check. Leave it up to that. So, you have probably you're probably aware of summoning of lesser demons. If this thing is a big of a demon as Sareth is implying, then it's so foreign to you, like wow, how that would happen. Because that the gods set up the planes so that would not happen. The creatures from the abyss are meant to stay in the abyss. The blood war helps keep those things down in the abyss. So how that thing's here. But details now. You just know sort of the archetypes of the how the universe was set up.
Well, I have heard that some lesser demons can be summoned, and even then, that's not recommended. Quite dangerous. But a demon lord? I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, the sheer magical power required for something like that?
Oh. It was bad enough when we had those drow on our tail. Now, that almost seems secondary to the reality of being down here.
On the upside, I imagine if the drow continue to follow us and reach Slobodok, they'll assume we're dead.
You hear Sareth laugh. He just is. He finds that comment hilarious.
Balding man, why funny?
It's like they won't you. No. That's all she wants you dead so she can re-raise you again and drag you into Menzoberran's. And
Do you think there's any chance the drow have anything to do with this?
they worship their demon queen. I do not know. I don't know why they would summon another.
But if that was a queen, she's hideous.
Important question. That town have enough food for Demon. He'd not want to come eat us. So, done with Demon?
Hopefully so, Drazzle.
Hopefully him eat enough and go back to sleep. When belly full, it's usually time for rest and nap.
Did you see the flames in his mouth? I don't think he gets full.
Which mouth?
Both of them.
Yeah, he had a few. I don't think he consumes the way that we do Drazzle. I think his hunger is more in the wanting destruction kind of way.
Certainly looked that way.
Mm-hmm.
Sarth, Hammond, do you recognize this demon? The Kuotor called him.
Demogorgon.
Thank you. That.
Limo Lolo.
Eldith doesn't. She's not trained in Arcana, and she's a grunt of some, through and through. Sarath says, I don't know. The Abyss has 666 layers and at least one demon lord for each. If that is the prince of the demon lords, well, doesn't matter his name. We're doomed. You see him really, really and it's really he doesn't seem to realize he's doing.
He's been doing this for just since we saw Demogorgon, right? That is that when he started doing that?
Make me a intelligence check. Yep. As far as you remember, he. I mean, people scratch their head, right? But it seems to be that was what prompted all this. He didn't have a bald spot before. He definitely did not have a bald spot.
Can I take? So I know we're on separate boats, but as we're going here,
We're off the boats right now, though, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, we're off the boats.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, sort of.
I kind of want to take a look at it, I'm not getting up in his business or whatever, but I'm just trying to look if he's creating a sore for himself, or is he self-harming, or see what is he scratching at.
Sure. Make me a perception check. You certainly could do it. I guess he goes into trance, but not sleep. But so what you see is it's almost impossible to figure out without getting in there, and so you can see where he's definitely done damage to himself. Whether or not it was the thing when you have a splinter and you just pick at it, you don't know the cause, but he's definitely not helping it.
I'll say something about it. I'll say, Sarah, I've noticed it looks like did you get hurt back there, or you've been clawing at your head there? Do you want me to take a look? Maybe I can.
He looks at his hand, he becomes aware, and he sees there's sort of blood on it, and he's like, oh, I must have. And he sort of walks over to one of the higher parts on the rock, and you see him sort of sit down to do his trance, and he doesn't itch it. Is there anything you guys want to accomplish on this first night in particular?
I'd like to just chat with, just talk to Hemeth a bit, find out if he's from Gracklstow or nearby, and what he can tell us about the area.
He says, yeah, I'm born and raised in Gracklstow.
That's where we're hoping to make our way. Maybe favor for a favor, you could guide us there, since we got you out of your predicament.
I would take I doubt any of us will survive this, but we're more likely to survive it if we go in a group. But once we get there, I can't vouch for you. It's a difficult
fine.
place.
That's. I can't ask you to stick your neck out that far, but if you can get us there.
It's where are you guys coming from? How did you end up in Slubadope?
Long story involving drow slavers.
You should be careful. You sometimes see them here on the lake.
We're learning that we should be careful everywhere down here.
It's even for someone like me, it's not someplace I normally wouldn't be this far out, except they dragged me to that pit, that sacrifice. Normally I stay within a day in the city. It's best I can tell. We're 2 or 3 weeks away.
That tracks with our understanding of where we were.
You have map? How get from here to there?
He sort of taps his head and he's like, this is my map.
Yeah, but sometimes I go sleep and no wake up for 1 day, 2 day, maybe you next, and then we cannot go. Maybe you give us map for tomorrow, and then the next day map for next day. You ever see Spider with one glove?
He looks at you, Jason, and he's like,
We're all in this
Dude.
together, mate.
we all see the talking lizard, right?
Yes.
Well, he's
Yes.
like, he points out to you, Skylar.
Haha.
You change your name. Sorry, that's for those of you who can't see. It's one of Scott's other characters that I DM that
That he loves.
He has on his Zoom name at the moment. He says, "Look there in the distance. Do you see that gleaming little dot?"
Yeah. I see dot is. Wait, no.
Is it
This is my
producing
finger.
light? Is it visible to someone with no dark vision?
Make a perception check. You see nothing, Jason. Drazzle, you're not. Yeah, you don't see anything.
No, see nothing.
Oh, you just gotta look longer. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna follow that light, and then he leaves. He
So
walks
with my level up, I have a minimum 14 insight to see if someone's lying.
Oh, he absolutely. I got 100%. Drazzle has he can't make a map. He doesn't know how to make a map. You can tell he's totally just trying to get this guy off. The whole story doesn't make sense. He goes to sleep for a day.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's minimum 15. That's even better.
Eldeth, in fact, weirdly, the only person who seems unaffected by this is Stool. And I think you all notice this. He's maybe a little bit more withdrawn, but you think it's more the shock of the sort of departure, the sudden violent departure, rather than the other sort of like trauma that the rest of you sort of are beginning to realize you just experienced. He's relatively happy. And I think he comes to you, Vic, during the sport chat hour. For those of you who are watching for the first time, Stool has ability that's common amongst the Myconoid, that he can connect everyone telepathically in sort of a group chat a few times a day, and it removes language barriers. It allows them to talk without actually talking. And Stool comes to you and he's like, we can go home now, right?
Well, I'd like to help you out with that, little buddy, but I'm still not so sure where you live. Do you live around this lake?
I live near Basilia in the Neverlit Grove.
Well, maybe I can ask our navigator. Maybe he's heard of it. Maybe we can make a little trip. How are you holding up, Stool? It was kind of scary back there, wasn't it?
I want to go home.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So who's waiting for you back home, Stool?
Basilia is very nice. You would like Basilia.
Is that, if I say anything, it's kind of insensitive. I don't know myconoids all that well, but is that like a parent to you, mother, father?
He points over at the mushrooms that are there that you've been eating, and he's like, Basilia can make that like me.
Oh. Interesting. Yeah, so, okay. Maybe kind of creator.
Yeah, the mushrooms were already there, so maybe not mom, but she's like a mom.
Like life
very
coach.
good.
Very empowering.
Our grove would not be there without Basilia.
Do you've been away for a while, but you know that big scary thing that came out of the lake? Do you think Basilia knows anything about that?
She's very smart. I don't know.
Myconoids, we're talking like this, telepathic like this. Do you learn a lot from, I don't know, are you able to eavesdrop or hear secrets down here in the Underdark, pick up information or news?
From other myconoids?
Maybe from other, like the Drow, or maybe Duergar, or other types like that. Or is it more like you gotta be in kind of like conversation like we are to hear what they're talking about or thinking?
They have to like have my spores.
I see.
And I think it's a little hard, like I sort of wishy-washy role playing this, but like it's a little hard. He is a kid, right? And so
Yeah.
like he hasn't even entered that idea that there would be like deception. Like that is really like or complex deception. Like he knows if he wants something, he could deceive, but that's about it.
When we're at some point now that I've heard him kind of talk about home, I want to talk to the Duergar and ask him if he's heard about this Neverlight Grove?
Neverlit Grove. And the Duergar, Hemeth is like, I no. Like, you're talking about a patch of mushrooms in the middle of the Underdark.
Yeah. Could be anywhere.
Doesn't have light place. Like, that's, I don't know. If we get into Grackle Stone, maybe I don't know. Maybe Themberchode knows. He's
Who's that now?
oh the Wormsmith. Yeah, you know. So, have you met a Duragar before?
This is kind of a
Any
new.
of you met a Duragar before?
No.
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 Me no like them. I think they either crazy or see spots that no one see.
Oh, I can't believe I got stuck with you. So
Well,
Duragar were, you know, we like to build things, right? And we're good at it, real good at it. Especially, you know, blades and armors and all sorts of, you know, the good stuff. You come to a Duragar. But to make blades and armor, you need fire. Thumberchild, he's the one who keeps our fires lit.
Thunderchild.
I need to look it up now. I said it differently the second time than I did the first. Themberchode.
Thunderchode.
Like, hey buddy, when you meet Themberchode, if you get that privilege,
Thimblechode.
you should make sure you compliment him on what a fine.
He's pretty?
Oh, he's beautiful. You should just tell him how beautiful he is.
Is
Drazzle,
he a-
maybe you let someone
Is
else.
he a god
handle that.
or what is he said you said he keeps the fires lit.
Oh, he's a dragon.
Oh,
Him have
Yeah, I thought you guys knew that.
him have
Right.
scales.
You've never even met a Duragar. How would you know who Themberchode is? Like,
well, I've never met a dragon either. So there's that.
well,
But I'm like dragon, but small. And no fire.
I think you're selling yourself a little too.
And no wings.
I have a tail
Yes, I'm also very much
It's
like
a fine tail
and
too.
teeth.
Vic, I was just telling myself how much like a dragon you are.
So when you,
what color dragon? Red?
I think so. He knows the answer to this. Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Also, you're gonna have to spell that name for me, otherwise.
Thunderchode.
It's the them ber. Okay, here.
Oh,
THEMBERCHAUD.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Red dragon.
I think it's the name of.
Child?
I just was making sure.
Thumberchild.
There's this band that I heard one time called ECDC. I think they had a song about this dragon.
Themberchode, we you know, we wouldn't be able to heat the forges. He allows us the city to run, really.
And what does Themba
What kind of dragon is he?
What does he receive out of the deal?
Well, he has a bunch of priests and stuff. I don't know much about them, but they take care of him, I think. They sort of worship him or something. He's over in the side of the city. I stick mostly to the side in the Dark Lake.
Well, what kind of dragon?
What do you mean? Like he's a red dragon?
Oh gosh. Jeez.
What?
And you guys live in harmony with this dragon?
I mean, we don't really see him. I mean, if you're out at night, you may see him flying around, lighting all the forges for the next morning. But in general, don't really interact with him.
Because dragons are usually greedy folk. I can't imagine what you guys could give. You guys like supplying it with treasure?
Way over my pay grade. That's the priests. They would, and he mentions he's like the keepers of the flame.
Hmm.
They,
Can I roll a religion check or?
Yep. About that name specifically?
Yeah.
Yep. Go for it.
Let's see, religion check. Although I'm pretty crappy at religion. Let's see.
Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Can we go with the natural 20 that I got instead?
You're unaware of any, like, it doesn't have any significance on the surface world to you, and really to any of you. It's not something that you've heard anything like that.
Keepers of the Flame.
Hemeth does. I'd say this. Hemeth, like Sareth, between the two of them. How do I want to do this? I'm gonna. No, I'll do this over the week. So just so to make it a little better than I would do it on the fly right now. He does draw out a little bit of a map of the Underdark, so you can get your bearings. And it's not. It's not. You know what? Yeah, I can give this to you. Here, hold on. There's a handout. I can give this to you. I don't think I'm giving you anything special. I'm going to give this to you, but just ignore the places that I've... Sorry. So, yeah, I'm going to skip giving it to you. It has too much information on it. But he gives you, and so I'll draw one out. He gives you a basic map of like how like the Dark Lake is oriented towards Gracklstow and Slubadope, and then also Galtogrim. He knows where that is generally. And so, yeah, he's able to give you a little bit more information than you had before. You do learn that about some of the dangers of the Dark Lake, and he tells you, he's like, some of this, it's difficult to navigate here because sometimes the ceiling comes all the way down to the floor, or to the surface of the water. And so we have to be careful as we're navigating through this. It has its own dangers as well. Monsters and creatures that are not friendly to us. And if we're in two boats, then, well, it's going to be a challenge for, I can navigate our boat here, or I can maneuver our boat here, but the other one of you is going to have to, or a few of you are going to have to take the helm on that.
Oh gosh.
I can vote.
He says, well, we can decide in the morning what we're going to do. I don't think any of you will be really good at it. But...
Yeah, let's
the
do
first thing
that.
about sailing, but I take direction well.
Well, that's a start. Don't sink the boat. It's your first direction.
I have a question for you, Hamlet.
Yes.
You've been born and raised in Gontalgrim. Have you ever seen Gracklstow? Have you ever seen a sunny side of anything, or the sun at all?
No.
Okay.
The purpose of life is to work.
No. Sun is magic in life.
I think you've been misled.
Me not almost sacrificed like you.
Well, things are certainly becoming clearer, that's for sure.
At some point, Vic, you hear something in the distance.
Oh, hey, shh! Y'all hear that?
Hmm.
Did you say, uh-huh?
No, I said what?
Oh. Okay. No.
Yep, I sure do.
So,
Oh, good. I'm not crazy then.
Vic, everyone quiets down, and you hear a very, very faint and very delicate sound of what sounds like a flute.
Oh, it's a flute. Oh, see, I think that's the problem. You guys are trained musicians, so these frequencies, my ears are really tuned in on it. But, yep, it's definitely a flute. That's a kind of a reassuring sound down here.
Emmeth is like, that can't be good. Like, there's no, why would
come
somebody
on.
be making that much noise?
How could a flute be a bad thing? It's
I'm
a
going
comfort
to-
sound.
Can I hear it? No.
Make me a perception check.
Now, Vic, I don't see in the dark, so I've been relying on my hearing for several days, and I feel like I'm fairly in tune with it, and I don't hear anything.
I rolled a 16.
You, Zom, you do not hear it.
Oh, Jason,
don't-
it's just, maybe bend your ear just a little bit. There's a way you could kind of amplify your senses a little bit and tune in on that.
I admit that you have more familiarity with the flute than I do, but really, you may be imagining it.
Yeah, I don't hear anything either.
Do you see who play flute? Is
It sounds pretty far away. Is it like in the
Vic-
opposite?
Vic, this
Like,
might be like the fish bowls.
No, it's maybe you really have no bearing. Like really, this is, but it seems to be roughly in the direction you were going.
Okay.
Like coming from the direction, like if you continued paddling, you would have gotten there.
Yeah, it could be. You said you're thinking it's kind of like those tasty, delicious fish.
I'm
treats you
worried
were
it might
talking
be
about.
like the fish bowls, that it's not really there, and if you go toward it, it could be bad.
Yes, this place has a habit of playing tricks on our senses.
And-
Not another person going crazy.
and last time you with other musicians, you end up here.
Yeah, that's true. What do you, I don't know what you mean by that.
Maybe they jealous. Other music, they jealous of your skill.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are jealous. That's just natural, right? But I think the flute sound. It's a lot of strange things have been happening down here. I'll give you that, right? So it could be that I'm going crazy, or could also be that maybe you're all going crazy and not hearing it. We have to think about both possibilities. All I'm thinking is tonight we need to be on alert.
Yes.
Maybe you need to watch me a
Yes.
little bit. Make sure I don't do anything kind of crazy, and I'll watch all you all. Make sure you guys don't do anything crazy.
I crazy. Me know this. Now maybe you crazy too.
Yeah.
But any one of you touch my stuff, and I kill you.
I said, on that
I didn't
note,
know you were
I'm
such
rolling
a
over.
materialist.
Well, I suppose it's good to have boundaries.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep.
All right. So, Zom, as you start to fall asleep, you hear, you don't hear a flute, but you do hear a soft voice. It's someone there. Very feminine.
I look at one eye open, and I look around.
No one else seems to be reacting.
I close my eye again.
She's like, please, please, is someone there?
God, not me too. Please, not me too.
Join the
And
team.
I was like, and I just like, I get up, and I'm looking around, and I'm making sure that nobody else is hearing this except for me.
No one else is here.
I just go back to bed and I try to cover my ears. And I try to just go to sleep.
Please, please, I need your help. It's so cold.
I'm just just whispering to myself. I'm like, you're not real. Not real.
I don't know if you hear me. I'll please just follow the light. If you can come save me.
On that note, isn't that what the Durgar said?
I mean, he had a huskier voice.
Well, yeah. I mean, but he said something about like following the light in order to get to the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go to him. Um, hey,
What?
what's your name again?
Hemeth.
Emeth. Emeth?
Hemeth. And I'm
Hemeth.
sleeping. What the hell is going on?
I have a question. Well, yeah, I know that you were talking to the lizard friend over there, and earlier you said something about following
Friend's
the
a little
light.
strong.
Acquaintance, party mate, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just a word.
Island inhabitant.
Sure. You said something about following the light in order to get to the city? Is that
Yeah.
what were you?
I was hoping he would swim to it. There's no light. Go to bed.
And then I turn around and like, okay. And I try to get some more sleep. And I just like, all right.
As you lay down, in the distance, you see a light.
Oh God. I'm like, oh
Dim,
no.
but it's there.
I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I'm good.
And you hear the voice again and said, "Please, I'm so cold. I don't have the strength to keep this up much longer. Please come find me."
I say, nope, not real. Not real. Close my eyes, cover my ears. Just in the bed. If there's any type of cloth or anything I can wrap my head in, I'm doing that. So if anybody's awake, they definitely are seeing me do this. And I'm trying to whisper to myself, but I don't know. I'm just like, nope, not real. I face the opposite direction. I'm not even trying to look at the light. I'm like, nope. I roll to disbelieve.
You were able to put it out of your mind. Occasionally, you still hear the voice, but it is sounding weaker and weaker. Is there anything else people wanted to do that night?
I wanted to just let Stool know that it sounds like in Gracklstow there might be someone that might be able to help us find Basilia. Sleep well, little buddy. We're gonna find you a way home here, one way or the other.
You see him sort of settle in amongst the other mushrooms, like and he conks out for the night. The next day, dawns, and Hemeth is up. Says, "It's about time you guys got up. We really need to, if we're gonna get to Gracklstow, we really need to like paddle once in a while."
Wow, Sarah, did you give this one some pointers or something?
I was about to say, you Underdark folk. I mean, I thought I was rude.
And Sareth is like, "Eve surface worlders, so banal."
Don't worry, Zom. You are.
Uh, is he's preparing the boat. You see him loading up a bunch of mushrooms, and so you guys will be good for several days. He's sort of taken upon himself to spread them out between boats.
I'm just gonna look to him for direction and do this. Collect mushrooms, do the same thing, but
Yeah. And these are all mushrooms that you know, and I mean, so if there's things you want, like we talked a little bit about things you can do with mushrooms. If there's things you wanted to build or things like that, we can do it. You see him taking some of the zirkwood, the one that had wood properties, and you see him piling into the boats as well. And he's like, in case there's repairs needed to the boat, we can never be too careful.
Of course.
He said this is going to be a long stretch. I hope you're ready for this.
well, we have little choice, so we will be.
You could stay on this island.
Seems a poor choice.
You guys who we'll go over this next time, just because it won't be relevant for now. But you guys start off in the two boats and start in the direction of what you think, or what Hemeth thinks is Greckelstone. Zaum, in the distance, you see a light. Still,
In the direction that we're headed, or
it's in the direction-ish, maybe not directly, but it's ahead of you.
okay. Every once in a while, Zom will just like take a glance over in that direction, real quickly, and then
I mean, it could be like a torch. It's not close, so you don't know how it would be a torch, but there is a light in the distance.
right. I just every once in a while I'll glance at it and
Okay.
then like keep moving forward, but I won't say anything about it.
Okay. You haven't heard the voice today. The last you heard the voice was last week. All right. So you guys head out, and it's maybe later in the day when you start to hear, and you all hear this now. You
Oh, thank God.
start to hear from somewhere in front of you. You hear the sound of paddling, like another boat paddling.
In the distance.
It's not immediately in you, but it's the rhythmic splashing. You can hear it somewhere in sort of a 120-degree angle that's in front of you guys.
So I kind
Guys,
of gesture at
hear that.
our spore friend to
Throw up spores. Okay.
stool to get the spore chat going real quick.
Okay. He pops it up.
You guys all hear this?
Yes.
Hemeth says there's someone else boating in front of us.
Should we stop and so our paddles
I
don't make a noise?
I think we can keep going. I just need to see who it is.
It could be anyone.
Seems like
Do
it would
we-
make sense
Do we
to.
avoid it? Do we go forward?
I think we want to avoid it if we can.
We haven't met many allies down here.
Yeah. I'll avoid it if we can. I'm gonna try. Can I roll a perception? See if I can see it.
Sure. Yeah, anyone
Okay.
if they want.
Or do they sound like they're paddling in the way that we are, or is it more aggressive sounding, like slapping the water harder?
It doesn't seem to be like it seems not leisurely is the wrong word, but not frantic.
Ooh, 21's all around. We are sharp.
Can I roll perception? I want to determine if I can how many paddles there are.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey!
Wow, 21. Hit me.
Maybe roll 20's broken? I don't know.
So, so a couple things you can tell. You can tell pretty much it's
broke the streak.
Drazzle's got to come in and just be a showboating here.
Try to see if it was broken or not.
It's in a direction in front of you. It is moving somewhat perpendicular to your line of travel. So, like, if you just stood still, according to its course, you would not run into it. You cannot see it. It seems to be too far off. And then you asked number of paddles. Is that what?
Yeah.
So number of paddles, it seems to be one. Just a single, not a rowboat.
Mm-hmm.
Just a single paddle.
And not like a whole bunch of people rowing.
Right.
Not the world's most synchronized crew team.
Yeah.
It's just 30 Vikings. Just
I only hear one
super
paddle.
synchronized.
It just shows up, and there's 30 of them that have just been rowing perfectly together.
You can barely make out one smaller person sitting on the front of the boat looking backwards.
Hemeth is what do we do?
Let's just keep going forward. I'm sure you, Jasa, you told us all right about
Yes,
the one paddle.
Telepathically, I believe there's only one person paddling.
Well,
So
yeah, let's
probably a
go
small
forward.
boat.
Let's go forward.
Are you going forward stealthily? Are you going forward?
I guess as stealthily as possible.
Yeah, I'll just say in the sport chat, just be quiet. We'll keep moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked only because, like, the fact that you can hear them probably means they can hear you.
Right.
Like, so, like, if you paddle, like, it's not splashing. It's just the echo of the paddle.
Right. I think
So
we'll be fine.
If you kept paddling, there's a good chance they would. Like, there's no real stealthy way to paddle, is what I'm saying. Unless you got in the
Right.
water and, like, kicked.
Yeah, let's just go. If there's one of them, we can either handle it or we can get away.
All right. So, in maybe about 3 minutes after that, you hear that paddling stop, or you don't hear the paddle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're worried about us too.
I would imagine so.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say
Well,
let's just continue on.
Yeah.
You paddle in the same bearing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You paddle on, and then about maybe a minute after that, you hear, "Hello, is someone there?"
In what language?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. Hold on.
I should just start playing my
I
flute,
have not
make them
decided.
think they're going crazy.
Something.
In abyssal.
Primordial.
Okay.
It is in common, which is the first time you've heard common from someone besides the group of you since you've been here.
But it doesn't sound like any of our colleagues from the detention center.
No.
Hello? Who's asking?
Oh, I didn't realize that there were visitors. I and I'm not kidding about this name. I am Slopadoop.
Get out. Are
Okay.
you
Who
are
do
you
I have?
infested with a demon lord?
I'm sorry, a demon.
Just
Do
kidding.
you have evidence of demon infestation?
Are
Wait,
you-
just wait. May I approach?
Cautiously, carefully, and slow.
All right. So you hear the boat coming, and about
Drazzle, can you put up some light?
Yes, Whoa.
about 60 feet out, you can see a tall Koatoa on a boat by himself, dressed
Oh,
in
not
robes.
another one.
Dressed. Guys need to get. Excuse me.
What?
Dressed in robes, which was not something you really saw the other Koatoa. And he's paddling a keelboat, much smaller than yours, just for one person. And he says, I what makes you think, please tell me, why did you bring up demons?
Because your kind just summoned a huge one a couple weeks back.
Allegedly.
What, my kind would, please, you see him look around, and he says, will you come with me? Just for a place to park the boats. I know this may seem suspicious, but if
Who do you
follow
worship?
me, sorry,
Who do you worship?
I worship knowledge.
Where are you from?
I'm sorry. I'm Slopadoop. I can't say this name because it's so close to the other. Slopadoop. I'm Slopadoop. I'm from the Society of Brilliance. Perhaps you've heard of us.
I shall roll a history check, I guess.
Sure.
Let's see. Where the hell's my history? There we go.
So some of you have probably heard of the Society of Brilliance, but it is not a surface organization, so you know very little about it. And this zone included. It seems like something you'd find in Waterdeep or something. Like, so, yeah. He says, we're investigating demons and reports of demons.
I
Are
look
there
to the
others
rest.
with you?
I'm sorry?
Are there others with you?
No, not right now. We occasionally meet, but I left my companions in Gripstow about a week ago, maybe 2.
So,
You left him in Gracklestow,
Yes.
and we was in Gracklestow.
no, we're heading to Gracklestow.
Oh.
We haven't made it yet.
Drazzle. Time, past and future for Drazzle.
He lives in reverse.
He's Benjamin Button in this Out of the Abyss.
Names down below. Weird. Gimbal Poop. What is his name?
Slope it up.
Well, we are coming from a village that has a name very reminiscent of your own, with Koatoa.
You can just call me Boop. Like
Boop.
I understand that even on the surface, some people have trouble.
Oh,
Well, we saw a big demon coming out of this very lake and attack that village.
Like a I can't think of any demon names at the moment. Like a
Like a Balgaro?
Grell? Like a Grell pig?
2 heads, big tentacles.
Demon Lord is, I believe, the term.
What do you, a
At
demon
least 60 feet tall.
Demogorgon.
lord. And he looks at you very strange. He says, have the group of you, perhaps, come into contact with some of the Ferrises?
Yeah, we got a little bit of that going on in this group.
Some
Yes.
of the who?
Unfortunately.
And so, did you see this demon lord before or after you came into contact with the Pharisees?
I would say after, but we all 100% saw it. You know, this thing that you're talking about, we see weird stuff one by one sometimes, but this we definitely all saw.
Our friend Zalm here has scars from it. Physical scars from where he was hit with a dock.
Yes,
So,
kind of.
and so at this point, he has a scroll out. You see him writing on the scroll, and he says, would you be willing to, just park the boats so that we can talk about this more fully? I am intrigued by what you experienced.
Hemeth, how much time do you think we have? How much is it about time to stop, or would we be losing too much travel?
I mean, you could, but you guys probably just started the day.
Are we in a rush or not?
There are potentially those pursuing us.
I will remind you all that not that this is necessarily but you're with the other group. You told them day 40 is when you'd meet them in Gracklestone. It is day 12.
Oh, okay. Well then.
So just to give you in terms of rush.
That feels like we have time.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm reading that exactly the wrong way.
We may have time for that meeting, but we may not have time to escape pursuers.
Yeah, and said Demon Lord isn't that far down the lake here.
Yeah. It might be heading this way.
I suppose
Can you just follow us?
I suppose I'd be willing to talk if you tag along in our direction.
Can I at least get your names if you're not willing to?
Oh, we're doing that.
Oh, me, Drazzle.
Oh, fine. Vic.
Is that with 4 Z's or 7?
Zzz, 1 Z.
1 Z?
Drazzle.
I've been thinking this wrong the whole time.
It's sometime write more Z for you. No have Z in your language.
He to the suggestion that he would go along with you guys. He said, I'm afraid we in the Society of Brilliance we have deadlines and we have tasks, and I do need to get to my research. So I'm afraid I cannot head in your direction.
Well, if you'd like to row in our direction for a short time, we can talk a bit longer, but we don't want to lose the time from our travels to accompany you.
Make persuasion check. He says, I suppose I can for a short bit, but I do. You see him take out like an amulet from his cloak and look at it, and then put it back under his tunic. And he says, very well. Well, what do you wish to tell me about this demon lord?
What would you like to know? I don't think none of us are experts.
It's big. It destroyed docks. So you know have docks. You probably safe. And no bad statue. It's big statue. It destroyed.
The Koatoa had built some sort of shrine to it, and they were sacrificing, chumming the water with the bodies of their sacrifices.
And what was the name of this village that you experienced this at?
Slobodope.
Interesting. It's not the biggest village of the Koatoa, but not a small one either.
If possible, it mad because we no let this short man get killed. Apparently, bad demon want to kill short man.
So this, and I assume you're talking about Hemeth.
Yes.
So you're saying that this Thuragar was the focus of the.
He was a
ritual, or the-
sacrifice. I don't think he was the focus.
I see.
He and we were meant to be sacrifices to it.
Yeah, we really, as soon as we saw this thing, we didn't really stick around to learn much about it. We saw it, and that was enough for us.
I see. Well, I suppose your story could be corroborated with perhaps if maybe an augury into Slobodo.
You're welcome to travel there yourself, though I don't advise it.
I'll see. And he seems to be talking to himself a little bit, and he's sort of frantically writing down things in his. He says, "Well, did you see any Pharisees in the vicinity of Slobodo?"
Not very nearby.
And the ceiling was high enough that you wouldn't have, like, it out of sight high enough.
Maybe a few days before we got there.
I see. I haven't been there since I was. It's been a while. All right.
Do you think this element that's on the walls is tied to it? Should we avoid it?
So I don't wish to worry you. I mean, we are an academic organization and we have not made our conclusions, but I will say that our research is if the Pharisees may have been, that it may be doing something new. How about I say that?
Well, that means very little to us who don't really know what it did before.
It's a bit of very, very old magic, you could call it. It's from the dawn of the universe. It's almost I don't know a good way to explain it to someone who hasn't studied it for years, but have you tried using magic around it?
No, we try to use runaway.
Well, so if you haven't used magic, I would encourage you not to unless you like a bit of chaos in your life. That part has always been there. Pharisees has often kept people from using teleport near it, for instance, or made magic quite unpredictable in its vicinity. However, now we're curious that perhaps it has some new effect that we haven't quite classified, and so we're collecting examples.
Maybe we can save Ferris. Can be fixed.
We don't even know if it's broken. I do appreciate your report of a demon lord on the prime material plane. I will make sure my colleagues know about that. And we will investigate to see perhaps there was some Pharisees around Slobodo.
You may be as skeptical as you choose. It really makes no difference to me. I'm getting as far away from it as possible.
I don't blame you. If you believe that there's a demon lord in Slobodo, then you should. It is my job to document this and to make suggestions about how we best deal with this situation at hand. I do appreciate your time. And if you meet any of my colleagues, please feel free to let them know that you've spoken with me. And I'm sure they will be equally as appreciative for the information you can provide.
Can I ask you a question? Have you ever heard of a place called Neverlight Grove?
Huh. One second. Perhaps I can help here. You see him write something down in his scroll, and then he just sort of remember that Koatoa, they don't blink, so he's just staring at you like for a minute. And then he looks down at his scroll again, and he's yes. Near to Gracklstow, maybe 2-3 days travel to the northeast. The myconoid groves are very difficult to find in the sense of they're very difficult to point out that they're actually something different than just a mushroom patch. But at least it will give you a general vicinity. Once you leave Gracklstow, in fact, if you head from Gracklstow towards one second. I'm doing so well on remembering names tonight. Now
You are.
if you go from Gracklstow to Blingdenstone, the Deep Gnome town.
That's where Topsy
would
and
be-
Turvy were from.
I don't know Topsy and Turvy, but
I'm
if you-
sorry, I'm telling my companions.
but in between, if you follow that general path, it is a little bit off. And Hemeth had made you that little map, and so he marks roughly where it is on the map for you. Although it's a rough map. So
I'm gonna get Stool all kind of riled up. Like, you hear that, little buddy? Do you hear that? We're in the right direction. We're going to get you.
you
home.
have a myconoid sprout there. I just assumed it was up. They are quite dear. Take care of him. He's a long way from home. If he's from the Neverlit Grove. Well, I say good day to you. I hope that you get to wherever you're going. And like I said, if you run into my colleagues, please don't hesitate to provide any other information you might have. Tell them you know me.
This was a surprisingly pleasant interaction that we were having out here in the middle of this lake.
You may wish in future to start with a language other than Common. It will be conspicuous. You're the first person we've met who speaks it.
Oh yes, I grew up in on the surface. Strangely enough, I was a little bit of an experiment of the Society of Brilliance, but I'm happy with their decision. My undercommon is manageable, but I have a bad accent. People know I'm not from here.
Well, it might be just enough to keep someone from assuming you're easy prey.
Oh. Thank you for the warning, and I will pass on the information to my colleagues. Safe travels, and we will perhaps run into each other again.
Best of luck.
And you see him paddle off. You see him pause, whether to paddle in the direction that he was originally going or head back in the direction that you guys came from. And you guys keep paddling on. And so that's where we'll leave it for tonight. I will say, though, leave it with Zaum. The light's still there.
Leave me alone.
Thank you guys for sticking with us tonight. We are 20 sides to every story, and this is our Thursday night out of the Abyss game. I know, Ethan, you are occupied next Thursday night. Anyone else occupied next Thursday night?
Only if I play in Ethan's game.
I will be on the road.
Okay.
No, maybe. I might be available. I think I'm available.
So anyway, this is every Thursday night. Next Thursday we might have just a night off because of Gamehole Con and some of our involvement with it. So if we're not here next Thursday, it'll be 2 Thursdays from now. We'll definitely be back.
That will be my birthday, which
oh,
doesn't affect our
Happy early
Hey.
birthday.
Oh no, it will affect.
Congrats.
Well, it doesn't affect whether we play or not.
Oh, just affects if the monsters all go to you.
Yeah.
Gauntlet
Happy
2
birthday.
What was it in Gauntlet 2? Oh, tag, you're it. All right. So 20 sides to every story. To find out whenever we're on stream, please follow our Twitch channel, or even better, join our Discord. Our Discord's really active all times of day, and it's a great, welcoming community. A lot of fun. You can also support us through our Patreon channel or through subscribing to the Twitch channel. Primary benefit of those is that you have opportunities to join our community campaign, which runs roughly every Friday. We're running through the Lost City as our Tier 1 campaign, and Expedition to Terror Peaks is our Tier 2 campaign. Both are drop in, drop out, so it's a great way to play some games with us. Last but not least, I'll just put one last plug for Extra Life that's coming up next month. We have a host of activities that are going on there, and a host of DMs who are committing their time to supporting the cause. So thank you guys. So if we're not back next Thursday, we'll be back in 2 Thursdays from now. It was great seeing you all again, and look forward to exploring this next stage in your escape from the Underdark. So have a great night, guys.
See ya.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.